Good day, everyone, and a pleasant day to Dr. Dinas B. Plando. Our subject course is Language, Reading, and Math Science Readiness. And our assigned topic is Teaching Science in Preschool. So, before discussing the subtopics, I would like to introduce our group members. Rochelle Gotana, myself, I will discuss nature exploration, weather and seasons, animal habitats, and life cycles. Next would be teacher Von Pasumala. She will discuss the five senses: sink or float, colors and mixing, magnets and magnetism. Next would be teacher Marilo Gisolgon. She will cover plant growth, space and celestial body, shapes in the environment, and rocks and minerals. Next reporter would be teacher Giselle Katobay Gelena. She will discuss dinosaurs, simple machines, rainbows and light, and methods for teaching science, specifically hands on experiences. The last reporter would be teacher Haniza. She will continue discussing methods for teaching science, including nature walks, science centers, observation journals, and theme units. So, teaching science in preschool. So, let's have fun and engaging activities for young learners. So, teaching science in preschool is introducing young children to wonders of the world around them through simple activities like exploring nature, observing weather, or learning about animals, such as by taking a nature walk and collecting leaves. Now let's have the nature exploration. So let's explore the outdoors and discover the world around us. So, what is nature exploration? So, nature exploration is when children go outside to look at and learn about things like plants, animal, and rocks in the natural world. So now let's have the activity. So first, let's talk about nature walk. So you are going to take a short walk around the school to collect leaves, flowers, or small rocks. Talk about their color, shapes, and textures. And also the nature collage. After the walk, let the children glue their collected items onto a piece of paper to create a nature collage and discuss the things they found. Next activity would be insect observation. So you are going to use magnifying glasses to observe bugs like ants or ladybugs closely. Ask questions like what do you see and what do you think the bug is doing? So before discussing the topic, the teacher asked the student to sing and dance together to engage them. After that, the teacher asked the students what they observe. And once the students share their answers, the teacher begins the lesson on weather and seasons.
How's the weather? How's the weather? How's the weather today? Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Is it cloudy? Is it snowy? How's the weather today? Let's look outside. How's the weather? Is it sunny today? Let's look outside. How's the weather? Is it rainy today? Let's look outside. How's the weather? Is it cloudy today? Let's look outside. Is it snowy today? How's the weather? How's the weather? How's the weather today? Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Is it cloudy? Is it snowy? How's the weather today?
Weather and seasons. So, what is weather and season? So, when we say weather and seasons are how we describe different conditions in the sky, like sunny or rainy days, and the changes in the year, such as winter, spring, summer, and fall. All right, let's learn about the weather and the changing seasons. So let's have the activity first. So weather chart. So you are going to create a weather chart with simple pictures of sun, rain, clouds, and snow. So each day have children decide what the weather is like and mark it on the chart. Okay? So next activity would be rain in a jar. So you are going to show children how clouds form and produce rain. So fill a jar with water, spray some hairspray inside, and show how the cloud produces rain when cold. Next activity would be seasonal crops. So you are going to make simple crops that represent a different season, snowflakes for winter, flowers for spring, and you're going to talk about what happened during each season. Now let's have the third, which is animal habitats. So discover where animals live and how they adapt to different environments. So what is animal habitats? Animal habitats are the natural environments where animals live and find everything they need to survive, like food, water, and shelter. For the activity, let's have habitat dioramas. So create a simple diorama with paper and other craft materials. Let children create a habitat such as jungle desert or ocean and place animal toys in the appropriate habitat. Next activity would be animal matching activity. Show pictures of animals and habitats, a lion in the savannah, a fish in the ocean, and so on. And ask children to match the animal to the correct habitat. Next activity would be the animal story time. Read a short story about animals living in different habitats, such as the very hungry caterpillar, and discuss how each animal adapt to each home. The last one is life cycles. So learn how living things grow and change. So what is life cycle? A life cycle is the series of stages that a living thing goes through as it grows, like how a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. So as you can see in the screen, there is butterfly life cycle, and also there is a life cycle of a plant. For the activity, so let's have first the butterfly life cycle graph. So create a simple graph showing the stages of butterfly life cycle like egg, caterpillar, cocoon, and it becomes butterfly. So you are going to use colored paper or felt to represent each stage. Next activity would be planting seeds. So have each child plant a seed in a small pot. Over time, let them observe and discuss how the plant grows. Teach them about the life cycle of a plant. Next activity would be the interactive story. So read a book like The Very Hungry Caterpillar to illustrate the growth and changes of a caterpillar into a butterfly. So now let's review what we learned. So nature exploration, we explore the outdoors and learn about the natural world. For weather and seasons, we talk about different types of weathers and seasons. And for the animal habitat, we learn where animals live and how they adapt. For the last one, the life cycle, so we discover how living things grow and change. For the activity ideas, you are going to ask children which activity was their favorite. So encourage them to share something new to learn about nature or animals. For the pictures or images, you are going to use a color for collage. All the activities, nature, weather, animals, and life cycle. So that's it. So this time, I will give the floor to Teacher Von Pasumala.
Good evening, everyone, especially to our professor, Dr. Dinis Blandu. This is Vanessa Pasomala. I will be discussing the following topics: five senses, sink or float, color and mixing magnets and magnetism. Exploring the five senses is important because it helps young children develop observation, communication, and problem solving skills. Sensory experiences support cognitive growth by allowing children to interact with their environment in meaningful ways. Engage in activities that involves sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell enhances brain development, improves memory, and strengthens language skills. To help children engage with and distinguish between the senses, involve them in sensory exploration to enhance their understanding. Sense of sight. Vision allows children to recognize colors, shapes, letters, and shapes. It helps them learn to read, interpret visual expression, and navigate their environment. Example of sensory activity for the sense of sight is the I Spy game. How to play I Spy with preschoolers. Choose a spot. Play indoors such as classroom or playroom, or in outdoors, park or playground. Next, start with a clue. One player picks an object inside and gives a clue. For example, I spy with something blue. Next, guessing time. Other children look around and take turns guessing the objects. If needed, the spy can give more hints like for example, it's something you wear. Correct guess. The child who guesses correctly gets to the next spy. Next is the sense of hearing, the ability to perceive sounds through our ears and detect vibration and signals to the brain for interpretation. Example of a sensory activity for the sense of hearing is the sound scavenger hunt. A sound scavenger hunt helps children develop listening skills, sounds discrimination, and awareness of their environment. Here are the detailed instructions for playing the sound scavenger hunt. How to play. Prepare sound list. Create a simple checklist of sounds children need to find. For example, a bird chirping, a dog barking, or a car passing. Encourage them to listen carefully to their surroundings. Second, explain the activity. Tell the children they will go on listening adventure to find and identify different sounds. Third, go on a listening walk. Walk around indoors or outdoors. When a child hears a sound from the list, they can point it out, mark it off, or imitate the sound. Next, discuss the sound. Ask questions. What made that sound? Or was it loud or soft? Or you may ask, did you hear a new sound that wasn't on the list? Next is the sense of touch. The sense of touch is the ability to perceive external objects or forces through contact with the body, particularly the skin. The example of sensory activity for the sense of touch is sensory bin. Sensory bin. Sensory bin is a hands-on, play-based learning experience where children improve their sensory awareness and vocabulary. Here are the instructions for playing the sensory bin. Materials needed: a large plastic bin or container, a variety of textured materials such as soft. For example of soap is cotton balls, pom-poms. For the smooth, marbles, plastic lids, or Play-Doh. For the sticky, slime, cooked spaghetti, or tape instructions. How to play. First, introduce the activity. Ask children what does touch mean or what do our hands feel. Explain that you will explore different texture using their hands. Next, explore the textures. Let children touch and feel the materials. Encourage them to describe what they feel, if it is soft or squishy. Then next, guess the texture. This is optional challenge. Blindfold a child or have them reach into the bin without looking. The next sense is the sense of taste. The sense of taste, also known as gustation, is the ability to perceive and distinguish flavors, mainly through taste buds on the tongue and other areas of the oral cavity which detect chemical compounds in food and beverages. Example of sensory activities for the sense of taste is the mystery taste test activity. It helps preschoolers develop their sense of taste, expand their vocabulary, and improve critical thinking. Here are the instructions for playing the mystery test activity. How it works. First, prepare a variety of foods. Choose a selection of foods with different tastes: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. Then next, blindfold or cover their eyes. If comfortable, gently cover the children's eyes with a blindfold or ask them to close their eyes to encourage focus on taste. Then next, taste one food at a time. Give each child a small sample of a food to taste. Lastly, guess the food and describe it. Ask questions to encourage them to think about the taste. The last sense is the sense of smell. The ability to detect perceived odors, a chemical sensation that plays crucial role in our perception of environment and influences our behavior. Example of sensory activity for the sense of smell is the smell scavenger hunt. Smell scavenger hunt is an engaging way for children to explore the sense of smell while developing important sensory and cognitive skills. Here are the detailed instructions for playing the smell scavenger hunt. First, gather the variety of items with distinct smells such as coffee, lemon, vanilla, or cinnamon. Then next, write down the names of the scents to the list. Place the items in different locations and make sure they are accessible but not immediate of use. Then next, encourage the children to use their sense of smell to find the items on the list and then have them describe the smells they find. Importance of the five senses for preschoolers, foundation for learning. Sensory experiences help children understand their environment and support early learning. Cognitive development. Engaging the senses strengthens memory, problem solving, and decision making skills. language development, social and emotional growth, and motor skills development. Activities that involve touch, movement, and coordination improve fine and gross motor skills. Next is the sink or float. Teaching preschoolers about sink and float is a fundamental introduction to scientific inquiry and early physics concepts. To explore buoyancy, conduct a simple sink or float experiment using a variety of objects and water. Here is an example of simple sink or float experiment. Materials needed: a large clear container filled with water, various objects, some that sink and then some that float, such as plastic spoon, wooden block, metal K, rubber duck, and small rock or sponge or coin. Step 1. Introduce the experiment. Ask the children, what do you think will happen when we put these objects in the water? Will they sink to the bottom or float on top? Next, make predictions. Hold up an object and ask, do you think this will sink or float? Have children share their guesses before testing each item. Next, test the objects. Drop each object into the water one by one. Observe what happened and talk about it together. Then next, discuss the results. Compare the prediction to the actual results. Then ask, why do you think some things floated and others sank? The learning outcome for this experiment is helps children develop observation, prediction, and critical thinking skills. Next is color and mixing. Color is one of the most engaging and easily observable scientific concepts for preschoolers. Introducing color and color mixing helps young children develop observation skills, creativity, and scientific thinking. Example of simple color mixing experiment is paint mixing on paper. Here are the instruction for conducting simple color mixing experiment. Materials: white paper, washable paint such as red, blue, yellow, paint brushes, cotton swabs or small cups. Procedures: give each child a sheet of paper and three primary colors of paint: red, blue, and yellow. Next, encourage them to paint small patches of each color separately. Then third, ask them to mix the two colors together. For example, red plus yellow or blue plus red. Then directly on the paper and observe the new color. Then lastly, let them experiment freely by blending colors to see what happens. The learning outcome for this experiment helps child explore color theory, develop fine motor skills, and encourage creativity. The last topic is about magnets and magnetism. A magnet is a special object that can pull certain things toward it. It has an invisible force called magnetism that makes it stick to some metals. Basic properties of magnets: attraction and repulsion. Magnets can pull or push away certain objects. Second, magnetic materials. Magnets attract objects made of iron or cobalt. They do not attract things like plastic, wood, or paper. Then, third, poles. Every magnet has two ends, called poles, the north and the south poles. Opposite poles attract each other while the same poles push away. And the last, magnetic force works through some materials. A magnet can still attract objects through paper, fabric, or even water. Magnets and magnetic experiment. To help preschoolers explore which objects are attracted to magnets and which are not. Materials needed: a strong magnet, bar or ring magnet, a variety of objects including magnetic items such as paper clips, nails, coins, case, iron, spoon, and the non-magnetic items are plastic spoon, wooden block, rubber band, fabric, or aluminum foil. Procedure: gather the objects and place them on a table. Second, Ask the children to predict whether each object will be attracted to the magnet or not. The third, let them test each object by bringing the magnet close to it. Then fourth, sort the objects into two groups: magnetic objects that stick to the magnet and non-magnetic objects that do not stick. To ensure the children safety in all activities, supervise all activities carefully, especially those involving food or potentially hazardous materials. Be aware of any allergies that children may have and take appropriate precautions. Ensure that all materials are clean and safe to use. And safe to use. Okay. In conclusion, these activities collectively nurture a child's natural curiosity and encourage a hands-on approach to learning by engaging with their senses, making predictions, testing hypotheses, and observing outcomes. Preschoolers build essential cognitive skills that support their overall development. More importantly, these experiences create a sense of wonder and excitement about the world, inspiring a lifelong love, exploration, and discovery. That will be all. Thank you for watching, and God bless us all.
Hi, my name is Mariluchi Tranghea, and this time I will be discussing the different strategies in teaching plant growth, space and celestial bodies, shapes in the environment, rocks and minerals for preschoolers. Plant growth. Plant growth can be a fun and educational activity teaching young children about the life cycle of plants and the basics of how they grow. You can involve them in planting seeds, observing their growth, and learning about the necessary conditions like sunlight, water, and soil. Here are 5 teaching strategies for plant growth lessons for preschoolers. First, hands-on planting. Let preschoolers experience planting seeds directly. Provide small pots, soil, and seeds. Guide them to gently place the seeds in the soil and water them. This activity helps them understand the concept of planting. Second, observational journal. Encourage children to observe their plants daily. Provide a simple journal in pictures or drawings to record their observations. Ask questions like, "What do you see today?" or "Did the plant grow taller?" This fosters a sense of curiosity and attention to detail. Third, plant growth chart. Create a visual representation of plant growth. Use a chart with pictures or drawings of the plant at different stages. As the plant grows, mark its progress on the chart. This helps children visualize the changes happening over time. Fourth, storytelling and songs. Incorporate stories and songs about plants and their growth. Use simple rhymes and engaging narratives to make learning fun and memorable. This method connects the learning to real-world experiences and sparks imagination. And fifth, sensory exploration. Create a visual representation of plant growth. Use a chart with pictures or drawings of the plant at different stages. As the plant grows, mark its progress on the chart. This helps children visualize the changes happening over time. Space and celestial bodies. Introduce space and celestial bodies with simple concepts like the sun, moon, and planets. emphasizing their shapes, colors, and the basic relationships using engaging visuals and stories. Here are 5 teaching strategies for space and celestial bodies for preschoolers. First, sensory play. Create a space-themed sensory bin filled with items like blue Play-Doh, star-shaped pasta, glow-in-the-dark stickers, and small plastic planets. Let children explore the bin with their hands, creating their own space scenes. This engages their senses and allows for creative expression. Second, storytelling and imagination. Read engaging stories about space like Goodnight Moon. After reading, encourage children to act out the story, using their bodies to represent planets, stars, and spaceships. This fosters imaginative play and understanding of the concepts. Third, simple science experiments. Perform easy experiments that demonstrate space concepts, like creating a moon crater by dropping a ball of Play-Doh into a bowl of flour. This hands-on experience helps them visualize the impact of objects in space. Fourth, celestial body sorting. Provide pictures of different celestial bodies like planets, stars, and the moon. Ask children to sort the pictures into categories based on their characteristics such as size, color, and shape. This helps them learn about the different types of celestial bodies. And fifth, night sky observation. On a clear night, take the children out to observe the night sky. Use a simple star chart to help them identify constellations and point out the moon. This provides a real-world experience of the vastness of space and the beauty of the night sky. Shapes in the environment. Preschoolers are naturally curious about the world around them, and incorporating shapes into their everyday environment is a fun and effective way to foster early learning. Shapes are everywhere, from the circular wheels of a car to the triangular slices of pizza. Recognizing shapes helps children develop an understanding of geometry and crucial fine motor skills. Here are 5 teaching strategies for teaching shapes in the environment for preschoolers. First, shape scavenger hunt. Take the children on a walk around the classroom or playground and have them look for objects that are specific shapes. For example, find something that is a square. Or, can you find something that is a circle? This makes learning fun and interactive while connecting shapes to real-world objects. Second, shape sorting. Provide a variety of objects in different shapes. Have the children sort the object into groups based on their shape. This reinforces shape recognition and helps them categorize objects. Third, shape building. Use building blocks or other manipulatives to create shapes. Encourage the children to build structures, towers, or animals using different shapes. This builds spatial reasoning and problem-solving skills. Fourth, shape art. Provide art materials like paint, crayons, or Play-Doh and encourage children to draw, paint, or mold different shapes. This allows them to express their creativity and practice their shape recognition skills. And fifth, shape story time. Read stories that feature shapes, like the very hungry caterpillar or the shape of things. Ask the children to identify the shapes in the story and point them out as you read. This makes learning fun and engaging while incorporating shapes into a familiar activity. Rocks and minerals. For preschoolers, rocks and minerals can be introduced as naturally occurring solid materials, with minerals being the building blocks of rocks, and can be explored through simple activities like sorting and identifying based on color, shape, and texture. Here are 5 teaching strategies for teaching rocks and minerals for preschoolers. First, rock collection and sorting. Take the children on a nature walk to collect different rocks. Back in the classroom, encourage them to sort the rocks by color, size, texture, or any other observable feature. This helps them develop observation skills and learn about the variety of rocks. Second, rock observation and description. Provide a variety of rocks and have the children describe their characteristics using simple language. Ask questions like, what color is the rock? Is it smooth or rough? How heavy is it? This encourages detailed observation and vocabulary development. Third, rock painting and decoration. Provide rocks and paint or markers. Let the children paint or decorate the rocks to create their own unique rock creations. This engages their creativity and helps them learn about the different shapes and textures of rocks. Fourth, rock and mineral sensory pins. Create a sensory pin with rocks, sand, pebbles, and other natural materials. Let the children explore the pin with their hands, feeling the different texture and shapes. This provides a multisensory experience and encourages exploration. Fifth, rock and mineral story time. Read stories about rocks and minerals like the magic school bus inside the earth or the rock that couldn't roll. Discuss the stories with the children and ask them to identify the different types of rocks and minerals mentioned in the stories. This makes learning fun and engaging while incorporating rocks and minerals into a familiar activity.
Good day, everyone. My name is Giselle Catubay Galiana, and my topic is all about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs teaching preschool science through a dinosaur story time is a fantastic way to engage young learners with exciting and educational activities. Dinosaur Storytime, reading dinosaur themed books such as How Do Dinosaurs Say Goodnight by Jane Yolen. It discusses types of dinosaurs, their behaviors, and environment. Storytime builds kids' vocabulary, helps them understand new ideas, and makes learning fun. It ties science concept to relatable stories, improving listening skills, sparkling imagination, and boosting emotional growth, all while keeping them engaged. So I have here a video reading a Dinosaurs How Do Dinosaurs Say Goodnight by Jane Yolen.
How do dinosaurs say goodnight? by Jane Yolen and Mark Teague. How does a dinosaur say goodnight when Papa comes to turn off the light? Does a dinosaur slam his tail and pout? Does he throw his teddy bear all about? Does a dinosaur stomp his feet on the floor and shout, "I want to hear one book more"? Does a dinosaur roar? How does a dinosaur say goodnight when Mama comes to turn off the light? Does he swing his neck from side to side? Does he up and demand a piggyback ride? Does he mope? Does he moan? Does he sulk? Does he sigh? Does he fall on top of his covers and cry? No, dinosaurs don't. They don't even try. They give a big kiss. Mwah! They turn out the lights. They tuck in their tails. They whisper goodnight. They give a big hug, then give one kiss more. Mwah! Good night. Good night, little dinosaur. The end.
Okay, next is simple machine. Simple machines teach basic engineering concepts through everyday examples. Teaching preschool science through simple machine is a great way to introduce basic concepts in a fun and hands-on way. Simple machines are devices that make work easier by changing the directions or amount of force needed to perform a task. Here's how to explain simple machines to preschoolers. Lever. What is it? A lever is a seesaw. It's a stick that can tilt around a point to help lift things. For example, when you play on a seesaw, you push down on one side and the other side goes up. That's a lever. Inclined plane. What is it? An inclined plane is like a ramp or slide. It's slanted surface that helps things go up and down easier. Example, when you slide a slide, it's an inclined plane. It helps you go down faster without jumping. Wheel and axle. What is it? A wheel and axle, it helps things roll. The wheel turns around the axle to make it easy to move stuff. Example, when you roll a toy car, the wheels turn around and help it go. That's the wheel and axle working. Pulley. What is it? A pulley is a rope and wheel that help lift things up. Example, when you pull a rope to lift a bucket, that's a pulley helping you lift it without too much effort. Screw. What is it? Screw help things stick together or lift up. It's like a twisty line. Example, when you twist a bottle cap on that's a screw helping keep the bottle closed. Wedge. What is wedge? Wedge is like a knife. something a sharp that helps split or cut things. Example, a knife is a wedge because it helps cut things around bread or fruit. Okay, that is the simple machine. Next is rainbow and light experiments. Exploring light and color rainbow in a glass of water. Rainbow and lights, teaching preschool science through rainbows and lights can be exciting way to explore the world of color and light. So here is what you need to do. A clear glass, water, and flashlight, and a piece of white paper. How to do it? Fill the glass with water. Shine the flashlight through the water into a paper. You'll see rainbow on the paper. Like this in the picture. So the explanation of the rainbow and light is the water makes the light turn into the rainbow because of the flashlight. Methods for teaching science in preschool. Teaching science to preschoolers is all about creating the curious and engaging environment where young children can explore the world around them through hands on experiences. So, hands on experiences are a great way to teach preschoolers about science because they allow children to actively engage with concepts, encouraging curiosity and exploration. Hands on science experiment for preschoolers. Why hands on experiment matter? Okay. Hands on science experiment helps preschoolers actively engage with scientific concepts. Or these activities encourage curiosity, exploration, and critical thinking. Engaging children in learning early foster a deeper understanding of the world. Okay, example of hands-on experiment. Exploring, floating, and sinking. The material needed for the experiment is a clear bowl or tray, water, and a variety of objects. Activity: fill a container with water and let children predict and explore which object float and sink. Encourage them to predict and ask why do some things float and others sink, and what makes some objects sink or float. This experiment teaches children about density and buoyancy in an interactive way. What makes an object float? An object floats when it is less heavy or less dense than the liquid it is in. When you put something in a water, the water pushes up and the object. If the object is light enough, the water can push it up and it stays on top. This is why things like wood or rubber duck float on water, but heavier things like rocks sink because the water can push them up enough. Question 2. Why do some objects float and others sink? Some objects float and others sink because of how heavy they are compared to the liquid they are in. This is called density. If an object is less dense than the liquid, it will float. If it is more dense, it will sink. When you put an object in a water and the water pushes up on it, if the object is light enough, the water can push it up and it floats. But if the object is heavy or dense, the water can't push it up enough and it sinks. For example, a boat floats because it's made of material that is light enough even though it's a big. A rock sinks because it's heavy and dense and the water can hold it up. The conclusion reinforces the importance of hands-on learning in fostering curiosity and developing key scientific skills in young children. When science is integrated into playful activities, children naturally develop a positive relationship with learning. And here is the reference of my report. Thank you so much and God bless.
Good evening, my dear classmates, and to our professor, sir. My topic for today is all about method of teaching science. My name is Haniza Y. Luna, the last presenter from the group 4. We will talk about the nature walk. So the key point here is the first one. A noticing nature walk is about observing the environment with all senses. The second point, all you need is somewhere to walk. The third key point, going at your child's pace and asking questions can encourage your child to notice things. So what is a nature walk? A nature walk can help your child learn to focus their attention and take in the details of things around them. It can also be a peaceful, reflective experience for you and your child. What are the nature walk activities for kids? First, we have scavenger hunt. Oftentimes, in a scavenger hunt, objects are hidden throughout the search area, and the children then search out these items. However, instead of looking for pre-hidden objects, students can look for plants, animals, and objects found in nature. Activity is collect art supplies. Children search for the shapes and colors that are found in both natural and built environments. They could collect objects to be included in a piece of art, such as pieces of bark, dried leaves, seed pods, or sticks. Make sure you do your research on plants in your area so you are sure what you are collect is safe to use. Third activity is seed collecting. Observe, collect, and classify plant seeds. Get students to gather a collection of seeds from a wooden area. They can drag an old blanket or fuzzy cloth behind them on the ground. They can place a large old wool sock over hands or shoes to see what they can pick up. Or they can wear bracelets made of masking tape, sticky side out, to hold the seeds they find. Have children examine their seed collections and invent a system for sorting or classifying them. The fourth activity is plant and animal observation, identifying and cataloging. Take a closer look at leaves, their characteristics, and how they can be used to identify plants. The fifth one is planting trees. Trees provide a host of benefits from oxygen to shade to wildlife habitat. Learners help select and plant a tree for the future. In this activity, learners identify benefits we receive from trees and participate in a tree planting event. The sixth one is a big cleanup. It's a great idea to take some big garbage bags along with you on your walk and pick up some trash if you see it lying around. This can be a surge into some reduce, reuse, recycle lesson ideas. The seventh activity is play. I spy. Kids love games and some excitement to your nature walk by taking turns playing I spy. I spy with my little eyes something that is blue or fluffy, green, round, wet, has six legs, rhymes with free, or etc. So let's take a look of what is a science center. The overview. A science center is so much more than just a place to put science-related materials in the classroom. A real science center is interesting, inviting, and offers children opportunities to explore, discover, and use their senses. Science Center set up and ideas for preschool and pre-kinder. So this time we are going to know what are the ideas on how we are going to setting a science center. First things first. Why is having a dedicated science area in your classroom important? For preschoolers, daily life is science. Research indicates that all children can learn science and should have the opportunity to participate in science learning as early as possible. Effective science learning requires first, hands-on contact with materials. Second, time to investigate and manipulate those materials. The third one, time to contemplate the results. Hands-on science. In order for scientific learning to happen, children must be introduced to science in the classroom at an early age. Many of us may remember science as a boring subject in school, involving lots of memorization. But science is really a way of thinking and trying to understand the world. Science Center Setup. The first step in having a successful center is to label everything you put in the center. This method of labeling things in each center makes cleanup time so much quicker and easier, and also helps create a print-rich environment in your classroom. Science Center Books. When it comes to science in the preschool classroom, having lots of books is a must. Science books are always available for students to read in the center. Preschool science curriculum. Having a well-organized and stocked science center is great, but it's only one piece of the science puzzle. Science Center Planting and Growing. Kids love to watch things grow in the classroom. Here are some of the most successful planting and growing activities for the preschool classroom. DIY science tools or do it yourself. Science materials don't have to be a strain on your wallet. Here are some of my favorite DIY science tools you can make on the chip of your classroom. Science Center Materials. All good scientists need tools to their jobs. Some of the tools you have in your science center may stay out all year because they are important for your little scientists to do their work. Things like goggles and magnifying glasses are examples of tools you might keep out all year. Other tools may change depending on what topic your kids are interested in or learning about. Here are the example tools and toys for your science equipment. Test tubes, eyedroppers, magnetic wands, goggles, magnifying glasses, color paddles, and science lab kit. Now let's move to the observation Journal. Observation Journal. Nature journaling for kids is a creative and educational activity that involves observing and documenting the natural world. Children use journals to record their observations, thoughts, and reflections about the environment, inspiring curiosity and deepening their connection with nature. By giving students an opportunity to really look at the world around them and the experiences they have, you give them the chance to develop and grow into good observers. Print out the journal pages and gathered materials. By giving students an opportunity to really look at the world around them and the experiences they have, you give them the chance to develop and grow into good observers. Print out the journal pages and gathered materials. What are the guides on how you are going to make your observation journal? First, make it matter. Second, make it happen. Third, make it better. Make it matter. Opening discussion. If using these journal pages, for example, to help kids reflect on a recent activity, talk about what they did and ask them how they felt about the experience. This can also be used to record what your students find in a book or around the environment, the habitat activities. Make it happen, doing the activity. So, you are going to print out the journal. If not filled out already, hand out a copy of the My Observation Journal cover page to each child and ask them to draw a picture of themselves on this page and write their name. Have them then fill out the second page with their observations for the day. Make sure that they complete the data section on the left. Make it better. Build on what they talked about. Have your students finish their journal entries, then bind all of the pages together using staplers, holes, punches, etc. The next time you give your students a chance to record their observations, drawings, and thoughts, hand out their journals. By the end of the year, they can have a journal detailing their experiences. Here are some examples of observation journals. The first one we have is caterpillar observation. They can draw here the caterpillar. If the caterpillar is on the leaf, they can draw here their observation. The second one is my butterfly observation journal. They can draw different types of butterfly they can see around. So they can draw or they can write what they have observed around. Another example here is use any paper for the cover. Cardstock, interesting cardboard, and pretty greeting cards can all be used as a cover. Then collect some twigs from the backyard and find a large, thick rubber band. Fold your cover in a half, fold your inside pages and put them inside the cover. Trim as needed. Punch 2 holes with a hole punch, measuring down from the top and up from the bottom up about 2 inches. Pull one end of the rubber band through the bottom hole and slide twig into the loop. Pull the other end of the rubber band through the top hole and slide the other end of twig through that. You now have a special journal into which your building scientists can record observation. Remember, using nature to learn science. Heading outside in nature is one of the easiest ways to do science with your kids. Not only is nature free, but exploring the natural world gives kids and adults a greater appreciation for the world around us. The last methods of science is themed units. Overview. Preschool science themes fall under the science areas of life, physical, earth, or environmental, health, and technology science. Although preschool themes are typically just a vehicle to drawing children into learning based on their interests, there are many themes that will also dig deeper into a topic. For example, your preschoolers may be fascinated with dinosaurs or with bugs. You therefore decide to plan a theme or topic around that. Your goal is not to turn your preschoolers into paleontologists or etymologists. Your goal is to take their interests, provide developmentally appropriate activities to help further their preschool growth and development skills, all while taking about something that fascinates them. This area looks at life cycles. It is great focus for preschool because it requires observation, exploration, and classification. Three of the science process skills children develop. Life science, therefore, lends itself perfectly to hands-on activities in the classroom. Here are some preschool science themes related to life science. Bugs and insects theme. Example, spider web sticker art. Materials needed: spider stickers, blue or black paper, white crayons, or white chalk. The children draw their own version of a spider web and then add spiders where they want them. Add bugs and insects stickers as well to fill the spiders. Another example is my body theme. Example, foot and toe painting. Why not? I know it's messy, but other than that, why not? Materials needed: newspaper, fingerprint, finger paint, paper, or large pieces of paper, shallow trays for paint, bin with warm soapy water, and towels. Another example is body tracing. Help each child trace their body. They lay down on a large piece of paper. You trace their outline and print their name on the paper. The child then decorates it. This has been a week-long project for us. Another example for body theme, flannel body. Provide flannel body part pieces: head, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, neck, chest, waist and legs, feet, arms, hand, and hair. Talk with the children about what their bodies have. As each child mentions a part, give them the flannel piece to put on the flannel board. Another theme unit, example, weather theme. Example activities, weather collage. Materials needed: magazines, scissors, glue sticks, paper. Let the children practice their cutting skills by cutting out weather pictures or scenes. They may cut out items that remind them of different types of weather. Feel free to add crayons or markers for them to embellish their scenes. Another example for weather theme activity is plate weather themes. Materials needed: white paper plates, markers or crayons, brads, and pre-cut arrow shapes. In advance, draw a line down the middle of the plate and across the middle of the plate with a black marker. The children draw the types of weather that they wish, one in each section. Print or encourage them to print the name of each section: rain, wind, snow, etc. Help them to place the arrow and brad into the middle of the plate. They can move the arrow to the type of weather there is at home. This is a take-home project so that they can be at home. Another example of unit theme is plants and tree theme.
Example activities is leaf creatures. Materials needed: leaves collected from outside, glue, construction paper, googly eyes. How are you going to do it? The children can use the leaves to make their own creatures of people. They can use one for the head and decorate and then draw bodies, or use different size leaves for the bodies, arms, hands, etc. Another example is handprint trees. Materials: large pieces of brown paper or white bond paper, variety of colors of finger paint. The children use their handprints to make leaves all over their trees. Another activity is colorful trees. Materials needed: paper, markers, tissue paper, and glue. Display or show the children pictures of trees in bloom. Discuss the tree trunks. Some are thin, some wide. Discuss the leaves. Some are small, some large, many different colors. Encourage the children to allow their own tree trunks on the paper. They then crumple pieces of tissue paper into balls with their fingers and glue on their tree. And that's all for today. Thank you and have a good day.